their life. We're going to discuss a little bit of what happened, a little bit of what is to come for next for the next game, for Game 6. But let's start by hitting the intro. 3, 2, 1. This is Perspective Log X, and I am your host, E.A. Crespo. Perspective Log X, Lakers-fandom. All right, so here we are. Before we start doing everything that we are going to be programmed to talk about, I want to talk about something first. But I want to remind everyone who watched this, if you can give us some appreciation by subscribing to our YouTube channel and to, help us get to our 500 subscriber goal. All right. So before I get to the themes, and I want, as much interaction, commenting on this topic, but let's talk about the game a little bit. I saw the interviews, the post-game interviews, and this happened a lot when there's bad officiating, and there are calls that really they can go either way. That it's not so much because you think the refs have it against you or whatever it is. It looks to me like the Lakers were really upset about these two questionable calls that went in favor of Jimmy Butler. Now, I'm going to say this because one thing you learn in basketball, playing basketball, is that you don't want to get into close games because of that. You have to live with the mistakes. If if there are any mistakes, if there are any questionable calls, or because the calls always are going to look questionable in our favor. We never talk about the questionable calls that are in our favor, and but we always talk about the questionable calls that we see in favor of the other team. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. All right. Now, let's talk about what needs to happen and how this will affect the Lakers. Um, First of all, the Lakers in the stats they look like they dominated the boards, but during the game I realized a lot, that one of the things that bother me is that uh, in some ways these there were rebounds where you would see four guys from Miami battling one Laker. Um, and so there's a box out problem, I guess. And when they finally got kind of a rebound or somebody tapping the ball, I think it was um, Anthony Davis tapped the ball for a little bit. It's so, you know, nobody outside of him or whoever tapped the ball at that moment, nobody outside of that player actually knew that we, you know, there was a rebound situation coming on, and that kind of bothered me because I see that, and I saw that other part, where one Laker was looking for a rebound, and four guys from Miami were uh, between boxing out and trying to get the rebound. We can, we have to dominate. We don't have to just uh, show up the top of a stop of the stats. We have to dominate the boards, offensively, defensively. We are the larger team, and I know we are playing some sort of small ball, but still, um, we're still the largest team, anyways. So we gotta. That's the first thing we gotta do: dominate the boards. Why? Because aside from defense, rebounding wins series. Usually, the team that dominates the rebounds is the team that dominates the series. Now, let's go to the other one. Lakers have to dominate the tempo, transition fast break, pushing the tempo, etc. That's pretty much saying playing Lakers basketball. You know, Lakers basketball is transition basketball. It's defensive pressure all the time. You can't play transition basketball without defense. You know, defense has to be a key, and um, there has to be something that uh, power that defense, right? So you gotta get aggressive defensively, and you know, we gotta coming up. The Lakers have to come up with um, strategies about those, uh, back screens and those sliding screens. they have to come up with something that doesn't let um, Lakers, uh, Lakers guarding taller um, or stronger players. So all that is pretty much resumed in how the Lakers have been playing. Um, no mistakes. There was a lot of miscommunication. There was a lot of really bad situations on the court. But hopefully, they are going to watch the tapes today, probably. So hopefully, they will start looking. Actually, they have to watch the tapes today. But in and this is the last one. Come out and play 4 quarters. You know what happened in this game? The Lakers were trailing most of the time, and they were trailing because they didn't come out and play on the first quarter. They thought it was going to be an easy game. It was all in their body language. And, um, they have to respect the Miami Heat. If you don't respect the Miami Heat, you're, they're going to make you pay. And that's what they did on that first quarter. On the second quarter, Lakers start playing Lakers basketball, but they already have to go uphill to get really close. They interchange leads, but at that point, Lakers aren't able every time they got a lead to they kind of relaxed every time they had a lead because they were expecting to win. And I think, sometimes uh, a little bit of superstition goes a long ways, but it can go the wrong way. We got the Mamba jerseys who are supposed to inspire us to not give up, but now we put it on because we kind of think we get magical powers with it, you know? And so we take something that should be inspirational and motivational and we transform it into something that is magical. And that's when problems start to happen. Every time they got a lead, it was like, oh, yeah, we got this. But the truth is, in certain way, this kind of way of thinking becomes disrespectful of the other team, and they start, playing less with less intensity, and at the end, yeah, that's what happens. You end up in a really bad position for for the game become for the game to be taken seriously, basically. And so your defense can become stagnant. Your offense can become stagnant. Um, so when you watch this, please um, drop a comment Tell me if you agree. Um, Also, what do you think? Tell me, what do you think the Lakers need to do? What do you think uh, were their mistakes or their good things? And I would love to talk about it on the next show. I want to keep this sweet and short, so um, I'm gonna end it if there's no comments. All right. So hope to talk to you guys. And if you are on Facebook, I can see your chat for some reason. So come to if you have YouTube, go to YouTube and comment. I can see the comments on Facebook once I get off the air, but I can't see the comments on Facebook while the chat is happening for some reason. Um, Lakers in 6. I I think we all like uh, you. Let me put your comment shown here. All right, it's LA Sports Live. I I tell you, whoever watch this later, LA Sports Live, um, go and subscribe there. You're gonna get a lot of good information about the games, um, and pretty much all that's what's happening in LA sports. So watch that. Um, yeah, LA in 6. Um, you, I think you predicted that. I predicted that. I've seen a lot of um, from Sliva. He predicted that also. Um, and some of the other guys that are have a YouTube. Um, and yeah, I mean, this team, this thing eliminated big. Yeah, this team eliminated the Bucks. They eliminated the Celtics. They eliminated the Pacers. So they are not a joke. Miami is not a joke. Well, AD, one of the things about AD is that in the post interview, he almost sounded like he's completely okay. But, you know, I think that you're going to see that a lot of players play it like, I'm okay. So I hope we get news today about how he is. He said that it bothered him for a little bit. What he said is that this is the thing of the ankle that bothered him on Game 5 of series against Denver, and he aggravated with the problem, the contact um, with Iggy, I think it was. Yeah, yeah. That I mean, That's what they are going to say, that they are fine and all that kind of stuff. Um, so we have to see and check the list of people that are doubtful, people that will play. I I think he will try to to do as much as he can do to play, but I don't know. He's, we're gonna have to go and see that tomorrow, probably. And but what would happen if he's not fine? We're gonna have to we're gonna have to get um, a lot of help from the bench. Get Markeith Morris involved. Um, all depends on how he feels. But Kuzma is going to have to get more minutes in the next game, probably. And I don't know. The thing about Kuzma is that sometimes, or more times that I can remember, when Kuzma scores over 20, a lot of times of those we lose. So I would love to see if AD was, bad enough from that he couldn't play much. Hopefully it's just much. I don't well, I don't want he does, for him not to play completely. But Kuzma and Markeith Morris have to step up. And they kind of have done it, but they need to put at least 20 plus points, for us to not need. The problem with Anthony Davis is that when he doesn't play, it takes away some of our defense. And we are already in problems because of Avery Bradley, and I don't want to blame Avery Bradley for the bad things that are happening in the game, but that's those are things that happen that team should be able to navigate through. And we still have LeBron James, so hopefully he's taking a rest because he is being the player that keep us close for the most part, not just by the points he makes, but the assist, the rebounds, the defensive plays, some of the key defensive plays. He's the guy who is more aware. Probably him and Rondo are the most aware of what is happening on the court. So we still have him. So he might have to have one of the best games. But it's we gotta protect Anthony Davis, but at the same time, Anthony Davis might feel like, I have this problem, but this should be our last game. I don't know. I don't know. It all goes to how hurt he is, and how this could aggravate, right? So yes, LeBron James was excellent, excellent in that game, and I'm pretty sure he was pretty mad that some of the other players didn't come to play until later on. Um, if I were um, a player in a locker room, in a roster where LeBron James, 35, 36 years old, um, is the big star, I need to think that he's also a 35, 36-year old guy, So I don't want to, I don't want for him to carry all the stuff. But that's why players like him, or players like Kobe, they go the extra mile on training. You know, you can be a superstar, or you can be a memorable player if you don't put the time on that. If you don't wake up at 4 a.m., I love an interview uh, that where Tyler Hero, he was talking that he would get up at 4 a.m. to practice, to do exercise, to do all the things that now are paying off for him. I mean, he's a rookie who is in the finals, who in the playoff scored, I think, 37 points in one game or 34 points. And he is making a difference for Miami. And so we have to have players with that mentality. I know Kyle Kuzma is working on stuff, but no, he needs to find a way to produce uh, 20 points per game, because that's what is going to make him that third star on the team. And he, I don't want him to be that star, that guy with star potential that starts bouncing from team to team in trades and all that kind of stuff, because that's not, I mean, that would suck that, you are in a team where, at certain moment you win the championship, but your contribution is questionable, and uh, they start to see you as a trading asset more than as a guy you want to keep on the team. And he's young, so we don't have many young guys. So we need Kuzma to start becoming that third star, because Kuzma is young, and if that happens, we can build a team around Anthony Davis with Kuzma, Taylor Horton Tucker, um, and finding some young talent that accompany Anthony Davis in that journey, and LeBron James also, because we don't know LeBron James. Yeah, if Duncan Robinson got a 26 points, Kuzma, yeah, definitely. Kuzma should be able to have a 30 point game. And, it's those kids are pretty good. And I think Robinson wasn't even like a draft pick. Um, one of the at least first round draft pick. So he had to go through, you know, other ways like Caruso, you know. So so the young guys we have, Caruso, um, um, Taylor Horton Tucker, um, and Kyle Kuzma. They have to grow. Like Caruso is already, you know, on that, but we need Kuzma and Taylor Horton Tucker to take us to a different level. And you know how I feel about Taylor Horton Tucker. I think he's ready. In the 7 minutes he played, he scored. He had 4 steals. You know that spells a perfect player for Frank Vogel. So I would pay, if I were Vogel, I would pay attention, a lot of attention to that kid. And so that's pretty much what I have to say about Taylor Horton Tucker might become a star before uh, Kuzma, as far as I see it, because Taylor Horton Tucker, he can drive to the basket, he can shoot the three. He's not the best 3-point shooter, um, but he's efficient, and he knows how to get in and get his own point. He doesn't need somebody to help him to do that. And he's got that Kawhi, yeah, body, that long arms, uh, claw-like hands. He made the right play. I think you know people sometimes fantasize about what should happen in this, but there is a reason why he passed the ball. He passed it to a guy who, even when he's not making the best, shots at that moment, he's he's open. I don't know. It's people want LeBron James to pull miracles all the time, but LeBron James, you know how LeBron James is always compared to Jordan and Kobe. But if I were to compare LeBron James to somebody, I would say LeBron James is a combination between Karl Malone and Magic Johnson. So he's a pass first guy sometimes, but he does a he he knows who is open, in those things. And it is easy, uh, for us to criticize players, but it's not the same thing when you are on the court. If you have three open guys, but the defense is coming at you, you might not see all of them well, or you might realize that if it's a pass to these other two guys, it's probably going to be intercepted. So, people don't see that because they are watching the game from up there. The cameras are usually up where you can see all the players. That's not the same thing as playing on the court. So the pass went through, to an open shooter. I don't know, what else to say about that. And it's not like for example, Danny Green, he has problem with shooting, but Danny Green tends to be a clutch shooter. Tends to be the guy that you give him the ball to throw from a distance when the clock is about to turn. And that was pretty much the first game he played with the Lakers. He made a shot that uh, got us the game, right? So I don't know. You can never predict if an open shooter is gonna miss that. But Danny Green tends to be really good on clutch shots. But something I have realized is that sometimes sometimes he's a little better when he is uh, contested. He tends to miss a lot of open shots. So I don't know. I don't know what I would have done uh, playing in that game. Well, it is. We have been here almost for 40 minutes, so I'm gonna cut it now, and hopefully we can have a good game tomorrow. Get your snacks ready, your beverage ready, and let's tomorrow see what happens. Hopefully, at the end, we'll come out with the trophy, the rings, and the crown of the NBA, number 17. Yeah, disappointing loss, but we have Sunday. So we'll see you in the next live. And like I said, I have to bring you as a guest in my show. I got a way to do it. I just not sure if I understand it well, but I want to bring you as a guest. I'll check with you later on what time you could be a guest. Take care. Take care. See you in the next one, and I'll let you know how we can do that. All right. Bye bye, everybody. Go Lakers. Go Lakers.